Before proceeding further, I would take this opportunity to brief you about myself, my qualification, and my experience. I did BE in Computer Systems Engineering. Afterwards, I've done Masters in Telecommunication. I've also done MBA in Marketing and PhD in Machine Learning and Image Processing. Regarding my experience, I have been associated with the academics for about last 15 years with the leading universities. Currently, I am associated with Hamdard University as chairman and associate professor in the Department of Computer Systems Engineering. In addition to the academics, I have also been associated with the industry as a consultant with the local solution provider industries. Now, let's begin with the introduction to computer systems. When we say computer systems, these are actually two words. One is computer and second is systems. We all know that what actually the computer is, but why we call a computer as a system? Because a definition of a system is the collection of interrelated components so that they combine together and carry out a certain task. Like, for example, we have automobile systems. In automobile system, we have different components. Like we have radiator to radiate the heat energy. We have carburetor to inject the fuel. We have clutch to make the engine engage or disengage. We have gears to increase or decrease the torque of an engine. When all these components collectively producing their work, when they combine themselves and they perform a unit task to run the engine, so we call it is a automobile system. Similarly, we have digestive system. Means in a digestive system we have different organs. Each organ is supposed to carry out different tasks. When all the organs performs their functions collectively, then the whole system is called a digestive system. So we can say that by the term systems mean it must be a collection of interrelated component. Each component will be performing a separate set of tasks. When all the components are combined together and they perform their tasks, they pertains to a functionality of a system. Likewise, we call computer as a system because inside a computer we have different components. We have processors, we have RAMs, we have clocks, we have memory, we have input output devices. All these components have their own functionality, own set of tasks. They are supposed to carry out the own set of tasks. When each component perform its work, it pertains to the functionality of a system. That's why we call it a computer system. A computer is actually the electronic device, is not the electrical device, it's an electronic device. By the term electronic device, there is a difference between the electronic device and the electrical device. Electrical devices, to give you a brief overview about it, electrical devices converts the electric energy into some other form of energy, like heat, like light, like motion. They converts electrical energy or electric energy into the other form of energy. However, in the electronic devices, this electronic device, we control the motion of electrons inside the circuit. And usually we have the semiconductor devices in which we have the flow of electron. So we can say that a computer is a device, is an electronic device, that it is made up of semiconductor. It is made up of the components that are made up of semiconductors. That's why we call it an electronic device. We control the flow of electron, the flow of electric charges inside a computer systems. Computer primarily is designed to perform two tasks. The first is fetching, another one is execution. Means, if in a nutshell, if we say what actually is the main responsibility of a computer, that is to compute, to solve, to transform. Likewise, we say a computer is designed or dedicated to perform a computation, transformation, converting a data into an information. And for converting data into information, a data must be fetched. So we can say that a computer system is designed for two set of operations. First, it fetch the data. Second, it transforms the data into an information. A computer can said to be a digital computer and the analog computer. Modern computers are digital computers, and the classical older computers were said to be the analog computers. By the term digital and analog, we doesn't mean to have the inputs as a digital or analog or output as a digital analog. Please be noted, in both the computers, digital computers or the analog computers, our input can be analog or digital. Likewise, our output can be analog or digital. In both the systems, in both computers, both in analog and in digital, our input can be digital or analog, our output can be digital analog. So the question is, what actually is the difference between the digital computer and the analog computer? The difference is their processing fashion, processing ability. Modern computers or digital computers has a digital processor. They process or they transform a data into information digitally by digital processors. However, in the analog computers, we have analog processor, a processor that transforms the data into an information with the analog processor. So collectively, we can say that a computer is an electronic device that fetch the data and transform it into an information. A computer can be classified as a digital computer or an analog computer. Digital computer has digital processors and analog computers has analog processor. So this is a complete definition. I repeat again, a computer is an electronic device that fetch the data and transform the data into an information. A computer can be categorized as a digital computer or an analog computer. By the term digital and analog computer means digital computers has the digital processors, a digital mechanism to transform a data into an information. However, analog computers has analog mechanism to transfer a data into an information. Now let's classify the types of a computers. Different, we have two categories, digital and analog, but there are many types of a computer. If we categorize or classify the computer with respect to its types, let's say we classify the computer with its use. An individual could be of a use could be of an individual use, or it could be an organizational use. For individual use, we have different types of computers. Like we have desktop computers. It is a most common type of a computer that usually we use in our homes, our offices, our shops. In this, we need to sit on the desk or a floor, and this computer is actually a fixed terminal computer. because it is fixed with the desktop systems. Performs the variety of tasks. We can use it for information purpose. We can use it for commercial purpose. We can use it for like entertainment purpose and so on. Another individual use computer is a type of a workstation. A difference between a desktop computer and the workstation has more processing capabilities, more storage, high performance parameters. Like both are the desktop computers, but these desktop computers are of a low configuration computer as compared to the workstations. Workstations have the high capability of processing. We use it for the specialized purpose. Most of the times we use workstations as when we are dealing with the graphics, when we are dealing with the animations, when we are dealing with the video editing, or the scientific simulations, like for high performance computing simulation, we use workstations. Another portable computer for individual use, we call it a notebook. Usually we call it a laptop. It is a portable computer with different varieties of weight and size. It is as powerful as a desktop computer, but not equivalent to the workstation. And they can be set up remotely, like they have the functionality of mobile. A difference between a notebook computer and a desktop computer is notebook computer has onboard power. They have onboard battery associated with the computer. A well-known phenomena, tablets. Again, tablets are the portable computing device used for the individual purpose. Specifically, if we differentiate between the laptops and the tablets, is a tablet is said to be the single board computer. Means all the memories, processors, inputs, output, communication devices, they are associated on a single board. It is much easy to carry, it is much mobile, it is much portable as compared to the laptop. Some other individual computers are handheld computer. We also call it a PDAs, personal digital assistants. You might have used a tablet sort of stuff like Kindle. A Kindle is a PDA, means it has its own firmware, its own software. Usually we use Android or different firmwares for the tablets or the Kindles. And then obviously with the smartphone, it is a hybrid of PDA and the cell phone, because in a cell phone we only have the GSM module, a GSM module for making calls on the mobile. In the smartphone we have GSM module as well as we have GSM modem. आगे चल के हम इसको फर्दर और डिस्कस करेंगे व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन GSM module and GSM modem. In the smartphone, we have both GSM module, we can make calls. We have GSM modem, we can use internet on the smartphones. And they also have the functionality of PDA, a handheld device. So it is a hybrid of cell phones and the PDA. We can use it for variety of purpose, for web surfing, for email, for communication, for entertainment. And you people are very much aware with the smartphones. You all are using the smartphones for about the couple of years. With respect to the organization, we have another type of a computer, we call it a server. A server is a computer that's supposed to serve many clients, like a desktop computer. A desktop computer can serve limited number of clients. However, the network server or server computer is supposed to serve multiple clients. It is used for the centralized computing because all the data, all the resources are centralized to the server. Like for example, you are using HULMS. So HULMS is actually a software that is hosted on a server which is in Hamdard University. This server is designated to serve all the students and the faculty for this software application. So we have the separate server for HULMS. This HULMS is actually hosted on a server. All the other computers can connect with it remotely or with the terminals. Like your computer, you can access HULMS from your home terminal. It provides access to the network resources, like you can access it through internet or through intranet. When multiple servers are combined together, because in one data warehouse or in one data center we have multiple servers. When multiple servers are collected together, are combined on a one place, we call it a server farms. Like where in one data center there are multiple servers. आपने कई दफ़ा ये टर्म सुनी होगी, data center. In a data center there are multiple servers, and technically we call it a server farm. It is more powerful as compared to the desktop, but it also at the same time it also consumes more power, more electrical power. The next is a mainframe computers. Please be noted, एक बात आप ऑब्जर्व करें, तमाम कंप्यूटर्स की अगर बेसिक्स देखी जाए कि तमाम कंप्यूटर्स की बेसिक्स क्या हैं, तो कंप्यूटर एक इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइस है. वो डेस्कटॉप कंप्यूटर हो, वो मेन फ्रेम कंप्यूटर हो, वो सर्वर कंप्यूटर हो, वो हैंड हेल्ड कंप्यूटर हो, वो वर्क स्टेशन हो, ये सब इलेक्ट्रॉनिक डिवाइस हैं. फिर हमने कंप्यूटर के बारे में पढ़ा कि इट ट्रांसफॉर्म्स डेटा इनटू एन इंफॉर्मेशन, इट फैच द डेटा एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म इट इनटू एन इंफॉर्मेशन. तो तमाम कंप्यूटर्स लाइक सर्वर, मेन फ्रेम, डेस्कटॉप, लैपटॉप, PDA, handheld, smartphone, they all fetch the data and they all convert it into information. A computer can be digital, these all computers are digital. तो सवाल ये आता है कि जब इन सब की बेसिक्स एक हैं, तो इन सबको अलग अलग नाम क्यों दिया गया है, अलग अलग टाइप क्यों बनाई गई है? उसके सिर्फ दो रीज़न हैं. फर्स्ट, इट्स स्कोप, यानी कितने नंबर ऑफ यूज़र्स को हैंडल कर सकता है, कितने जितने ज़्यादा यूज़र्स का एक्सेस होगा एक कंप्यूटर के साथ, उतनी ही आपको कंप्यूटेशन पावर ज़्यादा रिक्वायर्ड होगी. लाइक एक डेस्कटॉप कंप्यूटर सिर्फ एक यूज़र इस्तेमाल कर रहा है, लैपटॉप एक यूज़र इस्तेमाल कर रहा है, PDA या हैंडहेल्ड कंप्यूटर या स्मार्टफोन एक वक्त में एक यूज़र इस्तेमाल कर रहा है. यानी इन सिस्टम्स के अंदर को करंट एक्सेस, यूज़र एक्सेस नहीं होता. यानी को करंट का मतलब है कि एक साथ मल्टीपल लोग इसको एक्सेस नहीं करते. दैट्स वाई वी कैन हैव अ लो परफॉर्मेंस सिस्टम. उसका प्रोसेसर कम होगा, उसकी रैम कम होगी, उसका स्टोरेज कम होगा और उसकी पावर डेसिपेशन भी कम होगी. लेकिन जैसे जैसे हम बड़े सिस्टम की तरफ आ जाते हैं, लाइक फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल हम वर्क स्टेशन की तरफ आ जाते हैं, तो वर्क स्टेशन में एक साथ मल्टीपल यूज़र्स एक ही टाइम पे यानी को करेंटली वर्क स्टेशन को यूज़ कर सकते हैं अपनी सिमुलेशन या ग्राफिक्स जॉब के लिए, लेकिन इसमें जो नंबर्स ऑफ यूज़र्स होंगे वो फ्यू टेंस ऑफ यूज़र्स वी कैन यूज़ इट। फिर इससे बड़े स्कोप पे हमने बात की तो हमने कहा कि कंप्यूटर सर्वर्स हैं। सर्वर कंप्यूटर इज़ relatively much powerful than the workstation computer, बट इसमें ख़ास फैसिलिटी ये होती है कि ये वर्क स्टेशन से ज़्यादा नंबर ऑफ़ यूज़र्स को अकोमोडेट कर सकता है को करंटली, एक वक्त में, इन पैरेलल। फिर हम मेन फ्रेम की तरफ आए। मेन फ्रेम कैन accommodate large number of users, usually use it in a large organization. A mainframe computer can accommodate large number of users at the same times, usually thousands of the users. पाकिस्तान में स्टेट बैंक मेन फ्रेम को यूज़ करता है, तमाम बैंक्स मेन फ्रेम को इस्तेमाल करते हैं, PIA मेन फ्रेम को यूज़ करते हैं, गवर्नमेंट डेटा सेंटर्स मेन फ्रेम को यूज़ कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज दे हैव thousands of users. Means thousands of users can interact with the computer at the same time. Then we have mini computers. It is powered between the mainframe computer and the desktop computer. Like it is more powerful than the desktop computer, but less than the mainframe. ये बात भी वाज़ी रहे कि जैसे जैसे हम कंप्यूटर की पावर, प्रोसेसिंग पावर, उसका स्कोप, एबिलिटी टू अकोमोडेट लार्ज नंबर ऑफ़ यूज़र्स बढ़ाते चले जाएंगे तो उसकी कॉस्ट भी बढ़ती जाएगी। यानी एक डेस्कटॉप कंप्यूटर आपको कम पैसों का मिलेगा, वर्क स्टेशन ख़रीदने जाएंगे तो उसकी कीमत ज़्यादा होगी, सर्वर की कीमत और ज़्यादा होगी, मेन फ्रेम परचेज़ करने जाएंगे तो उसकी कीमत और ज़्यादा होगी। मिनी कंप्यूटर की बात करेंगे तो इसकी कीमत मेन फ्रेम और डेस्कटॉप के दरमियान होगी, यानी इसकी प्रोसेसिंग कैपेबिलिटी मेन फ्रेम से कम होगी बट डेस्कटॉप से ज़्यादा होगी। अगर आपको थाउजेंड्स ऑफ यूज़र्स को एक एट द सेम टाइम अकोमोडेट करना है तो यू मस्ट गो फॉर द मेन फ्रेम, बट इफ़ यू हैव फ्यू हंड्रेड्स of users to accommodate at the same time, you can use mini computer for it. It can handle 100 of users, like mainframe can handle thousands of users. It can handle 100 of users. Usually it is used in a small organizations like small banks, like institutions. We use the mini computers for it. And we also access, like the mainframe, we access it through a terminal. यूजुअली वी कॉल इट अ डम टर्मिनल। आगे चल के हम इसके ऊपर डिटेल में बात करेंगे कि व्हाट एक्चुअली द डम टर्मिनल इज। देन here comes the big giant, the most powerful computer. We call it a supercomputer. A supercomputer can handle the thousands and large number of users at the same time. It has the high processing capability. Usually it is reside in a big geographical area. कोई बहुत बड़ा डेटा सेंटर होगा जहाँ पे हम इन सुपर कंप्यूटर्स को आपस में कनेक्ट करते हैं, सुपर कंप्यूटर्स वहाँ पे प्लेस किए जाते हैं। They can handle large and complex calculation. They can process trillions of operations per second. Usually we use supercomputers in a research organization or the big institution or big organization, like Facebook is using the supercomputer, like Amazon is using a supercomputer, like Google is using a supercomputer, where the scope of our organization, the number of users are not in the thousands, but they are in the billions and the trillions. Now, after discussing the different types of a computer with respect to its scopes, now let's see how the computer has transformed in our society. आज की हम अपने मॉडर्न एरा में अगर हम देखें तो if we look around, we have so many computers around us. We have desktop, we have laptop, we have we have servers, we have workstations, and directly or indirectly we are linked with all these systems. तो अगर हम देखें कि कंप्यूटर ने हमारी सोसाइटी पे क्या इम्पैक्ट डाला है इस वक्त, अगर हम ये कहें कि कंप्यूटर इस वक्त हमारी सोसाइटी का इसेंशियल एलिमेंट है, इसेंशियल इंग्रेडिएंट है, तो ये गलत नहीं होगा. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, अगर आज हम अपने बैंक्स में से कंप्यूटर्स हटा लें तो हमारे बैंक्स 10 साल पीछे चले जाएंगे, 20 साल पीछे चले जाएंगे. अगर हम अपनी गवर्नमेंट इदारों में से लाइक नादरा और दूसरे इदारों में से कंप्यूटर्स हटा लिए जाएं तो हम कई डेकेड्स पीछे चले जाएंगे. इसी तरह अगर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस में से कंप्यूटर्स हटा लिए जाएं तो वील बी लैग बिहाइंड अबाउट 2 or 3 decades. So yes, indeed, computer has changed the nature of our work. It has changed our operations. और ये सिर्फ कुछ जगहों पे इस्तेमाल नहीं होता, यानी इट इज़ यूज बाय ऑल डेमोग्राफिक्स ग्रुप, यानी दुनिया के हर खित्ते की डेमोग्राफिक्स कंडीशन अलग होती हैं. तो हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि सिर्फ इंडिया में या पाकिस्तान में या अमेरिका में या ईरान में या यूके में इन जगहों पे खाली इस्तेमाल हो रहा है. इट इज़ यूज बाय ऑल द डेमोग्राफिक्स. It provides information to the user and essentially information is critical, and indeed आज की हमारी जो basic need is the information. It also manages the information because managing information is difficult for the human because we have too much information. We have a massive amount of data. And we need to manage that data, we need to manage the information processed by the computer, and the computer actually supports us to manage all these informations. We can use computer at home for the business purpose, for entertainment, for communication, for education. आप सब इससे वाकिफ़ हैं. You have been using computers for about last couple of few years. We use computer in education, our education institution, universities, colleges, higher education institution, they all are using computers for their operations and for the education. Our small businesses like departmental stores, small offices, small banks, they are using computers. Industry is also using, like all the production industry, all the service industry, they are using computers as their essential part of their operations. And now, last but not the least, government. Yes, all the government processes are computerized. Our taxation, our policing, our national identity record like NADRA, all the processes are computerized. Our healthcare systems, our hospitals, our clinics, they are computerized. They use computers for scheduling of the patients, for keeping the records of the patient, for making the health information systems, for managing the information systems related to the patient health. Not only in the healthcare, we also use computer in the hotel industry for reservations and for handling the customers. So this turns the first part of this chapter. In this chapter, now I'll give you a small summary. In this chapter, we learn what actually the computer is. Computer is an electronic device that fetch the data and transform it into information. It could be digital or analog. ये हमने पढ़ा. फिर हमने ये पढ़ा कंप्यूटर की टाइप्स मुख्तलिफ हैं. We have desktop computers, we have handheld computers, we have servers, we have mainframes, supercomputers, mini computers. इन सब में जो वाज़ेह फ़र्क है, बेसिक काम सबका एक ही है. वाज़ेह फ़र्क इनकी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, प्रोसेसिंग कैपेबिलिटी, स्टोरेज. scope in terms of accommodation of number of users. Desktop computers, handheld computers, PDS can handle single user. Workstation can handle few tens of users. Servers can handle some hundred of users. Mainframe computers can handle the thousands of the users. Like supercomputer similarly can handle billions and trillions of users at the same time. So this concludes the the first part of chapter number 1. In next video we will cover the second part of chapter number 1.